thought your luxury car was ahead of its time? Let me introduce you to the OG of comfort rides, the bronze chariot from 220 BC. Unearthed from Emperor Qin's tomb in 1980, this isn't just any ancient wheels, it's the Rolls-Royce of the Qin dynasty. Picture this: plush cushions with intricate paintings covering every surface. Yes, they had upholstery back then. It's basically a mobile first-class lounge where you could sit or recline like a boss. But wait, it gets better. Here's the mind-blowing part. This ride had climate control. No joke. The windows featured a dual-layer sliding system that still works after 2,200 years. The outer panel has tiny air holes, while the inner panel could be adjusted for temperature control. Ancient AC, anyone? But hold on to your monocles, gentlemen. They even had tracks. Archaeological findings in Henan revealed wooden rails with perfectly aligned sleepers. These weren't just for show. They made the ride smoother and faster than your average chariot. Hey guys, ever wondered if the Great Wall of China actually did anything? Picture this. Thousands of years ago, the ancient Chinese were like, let's build a giant wall to keep those pesky nomads out. And so, from the time of the Western Zhou, they started laying bricks. Fast forward to Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor, who went all out, turning the wall into a mega fortress to fend off the Huns. Now, some say the Great Wall was as useful as a chocolate teapot, but hold your horses. Western scholars argue that Qin's wall was a game changer, not just for China, but for Europe too. Here's the twist. Those nomads like the Huns, Ruran, Turks, and Mongols found it tougher to raid China. So guess where they went? Yep, straight to Europe. Imagine you're a nomad, you've got your horse, your bow, and instead of going east, you pivot west. Suddenly, Europe's on the menu. So, in a way, the Great Wall didn't just protect China, it redirected the chaos to the west. Meet Marco Polo, the medieval influencer who claimed to spend 17 years in China as a Mongol Empire VIP. His travel memoir went viral across Europe, but something's fishy about his tale. Despite being a supposed court hotshot, zero Chinese records mention him. Even weirder? His authentic guide to China somehow forgot to mention tea, chopsticks, or that massive structure called the Great Wall. Every other European visitor couldn't stop raving about these things. The plot thickens. Polo bragged about helping conquer Xiangyang with fancy catapults 2 years before he even reached China. Plus, for someone who allegedly spoke Chinese and Mongolian, why did he write all place names in Persian style? Looks like history's greatest traveler might have been history's greatest storyteller instead. Ever wonder what happens to a feared secret police force when their empire crumbles? The Jinyi Wei, Ming Dynasty's elite intelligence agency, had a surprisingly anticlimactic end. Meet Luo Yang, their last commander. Despite his family's generations of loyal service, when rebel Li Zicheng stormed Beijing, Luo didn't even hesitate. He switched sides faster than you can say 30,000 silvertails. When the Qing forces showed up shortly after, he pulled the same move again. The Qing Empire, being smart cookies, kept the Jinyi Wei around initially. Same name, same outfit, just minus the torture chambers. But here's the plot twist. They gradually replaced all members with their own banner's men and renamed it Luan Yi Wei. Think modern dating pressure is rough? In ancient China, being single wasn't just socially awkward. It was straight up illegal. During the Han Dynasty, women aged 15 to 30 who didn't marry faced annual fines equivalent to a year's worth of food. But wait, it gets better. The Jin Dynasty took matchmaking to the next level. If you were still single at 17, the government would assign you a husband, usually a frontier soldier. Surprise, you're now a border town bride. The northern and southern dynasties really cranked up the heat. Single at 15? Both you and your family could end up in prison. Why so harsh? Simple, the empire needed population growth to fuel its economy and armies. Ancient China's solution to declining birth rates, literally making singlehood a crime. Ever wonder why old Chinese novels never had squeaky clean heroes? There's actually a hilarious explanation for that. Picture this. Heroes constantly rushing from village to village, fighting bad guys and righting wrongs. No time for luxuries like, well, foot hygiene. After days of running around in those pre-deodorant times, let's just say their boots weren't exactly potpourri material. But here's where it gets better. These tough guys would gather in taverns, celebrating their victories with massive feasts. We're talking huge portions of greasy meat washed down with buckets of wine. And in a world before digestive enzymes and Pepto-Bismol, let's just say their digestive systems had their own way of announcing their heroic status. Medieval Chinese proverb, heroes have stinky feet, warriors are gassy. Hey, nobody said saving the world was pretty. Imagine building a superhighway so ambitious it helped crash your entire empire. Meet the Straight Road of Qin, history's first highway built 2,200 years ago. This wasn't your average dirt path. We're talking about a 430-mile engineering marvel, wide enough to fit 8 modern cars side by side. Emperor Qin unleashed 300,000 soldiers and countless laborers to carve this beast straight through mountains and across plateaus 6,000 feet high. The result? A military expressway that could get troops from the capital to the frontier in just 3 days. Ancient Chinese chariots could cover an impressive 150 miles per day on this smooth ride. The plot twist? This mega project was completed in 207 BC, the same year the Qin dynasty collapsed. Talk about terrible timing. Think modern military parades are impressive? Wait till you hear how ancient Chinese emperors showed off their might. In 500 BC, rulers turned hunting into a military sport. Nothing says, "Don't mess with us," like taking down tigers while practicing war formations. Talk about extreme team building. Emperor Wu of Han kicked it up a notch with his Olympics of Death. Imagine mounted archers hitting targets while galloping at full speed. Miss the parade? That's 100 lashes for soldiers, even worse for officers. But the real showstopper came during the Ming Dynasty. Emperor Yongle hosted history's first international military expo, inviting 600 foreign diplomats to watch 100,000 troops demonstrate cavalry charges and show off their new thunderclap cannons. Medieval shock and awe at its finest.